I mean, there was this one time in Italy where they shot somebody in the club and the party ended.
What's the weirdest thing you've ever done?
The weirdest thing I've ever done. Oh man, you know what? I'm terrible with these questions because it's probably
Not how you start the podcast.
Yeah, I know. That's true. That's true. But I mean, I could say I don't know if it's weird, but I did. I would breaking your leg in a club be weird?
How? How?
Falling, collapsing.
Is like dead
Weird.
Dead too often?
It's because I was doing like nitrous balloons. It's never happened to me in my life, and it happened in a nightclub in Vietnam.
Oh jeez.
So yeah.
Was it?
Yeah.
Oh, wait, you broke your leg
I broke my leg.
by falling.
Yeah. So I had finished playing. I was hanging out in this club. I think it was called Savage. It was in Hanoi. And everybody in the club was doing nitrous balloons. Like as soon as you walked in here, I was like, what, is this really happening here? Literally everyone's walking around with balloons. So I was like, cool, I'll partake. I'll have some balloons. I've done it in my earlier years, teenage years.
Yeah.
Never passed out once in my life. And the last balloon of the night, I took it. I already finished playing. I was hanging out. I took a hit and I wake up and I'm on the ground. They're helping me up. I was like, what the hell? They're like, you collapsed. And I said, whoa. And I guess the way I fell forward. I broke my ankle. I think I probably collapsed and fell for weight power just went like that. I went boom.
Shit. But I
broke this right ankle.
Nothing else happened. Like, I mean, no concussion, this kind of stuff.
No.
Okay.
Just a leg. It was a bit weird because it's never happened before. And yeah, after that, whenever I do it, if I have every once in a while, I make sure I'm sitting down. So I don't know if that's weird or not, but that's a funny little anecdote.
That is
For the start, yeah.
definitely a good start to start with.
What's the weirdest thing you've done?
I've done a bunch of, I would say, very stupid stuff.
Yeah, stupid, for sure.
Yeah.
I've done stupid stuff,
Yeah.
excuse me.
But I think that story is weird, and doing a balloon is not really stupid, but like the way
was stupid.
you hurt yourself,
It was stupid.
that was true.
Yeah.
It's like,
And for years, I told people that I just fell. Like I took a wrong step. I don't want to admit that I was like. So now it's out there.
sorry.
And it's all good. That was like 5 years ago, so it's been enough time.
The indie project exposed, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But it was interesting. It happening in Vietnam of all places, and they had to take me to the emergency room, and had to have the promoter be with me the whole time.
Middle of the night.
To early in the morning. This was like 5 a.m. The good thing was nobody was in the emergency room.
Okay.
We were the first people there.
Okay.
And he just had to be there to translate. And
Yeah.
it took hours though, waiting for that. The doctor wasn't even in yet.
Yeah.
So we were just waiting. I was in a wheelchair. We went to get food. And then they took my x-ray. Then after we took the x-ray, we had to wait for the doctor to come in and look at it. And just to say, he looked at it and he just goes, broken. And I said, fuck.
Shit. So you had to fly back
Out
with a broken foot,
Yeah, that was painful.
with the crutches.
With crutches. I've never broken a bone in my life. I've never used crutches. And back then I was a lot heavier too, so it was really hard for me to use my weight and walk with the crutches. So yeah, needless to say, it was pretty terrible experience flying back because when they put me in a cast, plaster cast.
Yeah.
And they had to make it breathable because when you fly, your legs expand, your body expands. Mm-hmm. So sitting down like this it was 17-hour journey, all the blood.
So went back to LA directly?
Yeah. I actually had a day extra.
Okay.
That was just in the hotel the whole time with my leg up.
Mm.
And the worst part was I couldn't take any pain medication because I take blood pressure medication.
Uh-huh.
And they didn't know if it interacted with it or not. So I just had to deal with the pain, take nothing. Literally took nothing. I was just sitting in the hotel room. As long as I didn't move my leg, I was in no pain.
Yeah. Okay.
But as soon as if I jerk or something like that, or then I had to go to the bathroom, that was agony. and then sitting on the airplane with your leg down, just blood rushing like this.
Oh boy.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
So you couldn't have like 3 seats for yourself. You had to sit next to 2 people.
It was completely full flight.
Nice. I know what's the most stupid thing I've ever done. I was sober. Was skiing a lot. Was a ski teacher back in the days, and I stopped. Like I used to go to the snow park. So acrobatic stuff, backflip, front flips, and there was a time where I really enjoyed doing front flips and double front flips.
Okay.
But it was not enough, and of course we used to film each other back in the days. So I did it in underwear.
Okay.
I went on the biggest jump, the big airs, how we used to call them. Huge jump. I don't remember how many meters. And you fly. You do one. You do a second one. And then you see, oh shit, I should be landing now. But you're not, because you're still on air, because like you don't have your clothes on, so you fly longer. And I landed in what we call the second flat after the landing on my head. I had a helmet though.
Okay. Whoa.
But I had to go straight. I was supposed to go straight to the emergency, which I obviously didn't.
Yeah.
So I had a concussion. My friend was like, "Okay, are you okay?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'm okay." But I couldn't remember shit for like the next 3 hours.
Yeah.
I slept like shit, and I went to the hospital on the next day.
Wow. No way.
And I was like, "Hey, my back hurts a little." And it turned out that I have, a fissure, like I tore my vertebra, the fourth.
Oh, wow.
Here.
Yeah.
And it kind of like got stuck a little. Nothing else. That's it.
That's it. But I mean,
Nothing.
how was the recovery from that? Nothing? There was no, like, you're able to move around and stuff?
I did a lot of, like, I'm still doing a lot of sports, but I was training a lot, like even more than I am nowadays back in the days. So
Okay. Wow.
Nothing happened. Thank you to
Is there evidence of it? Video, pictures?
And this is where it gets funny. We filmed it, but we lost the fucking video. So that's that. I'm super pissed about it.
Yeah,
I've been looking literally for days for that fucking video, but we never found it.
You went through all that and never had a video.
I have a video, like a photo from me at the hospital after, where I'm like, what's the, how do you say the thing here?
Yeah.
But yeah, that's it. That was a very, very stupid thing.
Yeah, I only have a photo when they were like putting the cast on me and I was sitting down. I took a photo and they were like putting the cast and wrapping. Yeah. That's the only photo I took. Yeah, I said, wow, this is crazy. I'm in Vietnam, first time there.
How was the scene there?
I mean, it was the first time the party was good. It was actually a really good party, but I'm not sure if that club exists anymore. But it was like something you totally didn't expect. It was like really dark, like concrete building club, good sound system, and like people were going crazy.
Nice.
I was like Hanoi of all places, and I was like, wow, all right, cool. And that was 2019, so I haven't been back since. I don't know if that club's still happening or not, to be honest. But I was pleasantly surprised about how good the party was.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I was partying too, so usually that's a good sign.
And you played Berghain lately. How was that?
The people were like super pumped up. Like it was really
books.
Yeah. In my mind, it was for the books for sure. But I got tons of good response. I mean, people on Instagram and my friends were like, "Wow, that was fantastic! Sounded really good." Got a lot of good compliments. One guy messaged me, he said he's never seen the club like that before. So I was like, "All right, that's a nice little stroke to the ego." So yeah, it was really, really fun, and had some friends from out of town come. I hung out after, got to party a little bit, which was fun. And yeah, it's always a blast there. I just didn't take a photo in front of the club. I'm one of the, I prefer not to do that. I always say this. I'm sitting around.
Think of that.
I just, every time, like, I don't know. I don't think, do it once. I did it once like 8 years ago.
Yeah.
And that's the last time. After that, I don't know if like last year, there's this account called Thank You Berghain. And it's a picture of the club, and then you put the guy puts like silly characters in front and like AI generated thank yous, and there's one with Mickey Mouse in the front, and I posted that one as my thank you Berghain, and got a lot of good responses to that one. I don't want to do it again. So this time I said thank you on an Instagram story with the note that someone left that said like Truncate forever or something. It was really nice. And that's it. I'm like, no, I'm not going to post it, me, myself in front of the club. Everyone's seen the club 100 times. I'm good. But thank you for everyone that went and partied.
Yeah, it's that whole thing with social media nowadays.
I know.
You've been in the scene forever. How do you see this whole evolution with social media and what you gotta do, what you don't have to do?
It's so bizarre nowadays because, yeah, in the beginning, there was Instagram, but like Instagram was like posting pictures of your food and your friends, and it was never really a promotional tool. At least it wasn't in the beginning for me. It was like I just had Instagram just because I shared pictures of like my travels and rarely ever pictures of gigs or anything. It was just like food, restaurants, a nice building that I saw for the first time in some country. And now it's become this like huge promotional tool. It's a necessity actually. And honestly, I hate it. I know I need to do it, but I wish I could find a way out of it. Like, I think we were talking about this before. Like, I was thinking about getting like social media management and stuff like that, but I hear mixed reviews about it. Some people say it's good. Other people say it's not worth it because it's very expensive. So I try to post as little as possible. I'll promote my gigs, promote my records and stuff like that. But the days of like constantly posting food and where I'm at, I don't do that so much anymore. If you go on my account, mostly stories where I'll do that. Like if I'm traveling somewhere, I see some cool monument or something like that, I'll post a story, but I'll take photos for myself, but I don't really post them on Instagram anymore. Not so much. Yeah. But it's a necessary evil, as they say. You have to do it. And I wish I didn't have to. I really do. I wish it was like before where you just put out records and that was your like business card. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Putting out records and people playing your music. And now it's like, has to be this whole internet persona that you have to like show people your personality. And I'm just kind of over it these days.
Which gives actually the new generation an occasion to get discovered. So it has a good side as well.
Yeah, of course. And that's what I said, necessary evil. Like there's a lot of new generation coming up that's their main form of promotion. And every time they ask me like, hey, what can I do? I'm like, honestly, I'm like the wrong guy to ask nowadays because I don't do social media that well. I'm like, hey, put out records, make some music. But now it's like, you don't really have to make music that much. The music comes like last.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How would you explain that?
Because it's like there's people that don't put out records that are playing tons of gigs. They just put out DJ mixes and like name an EP. I don't know. I can't name an EP from this person. I'm not gonna name names, but I see it all the time. Just a bunch of DJs that are constantly on tour, and I'm like, what did they put out? Like, did they make a hit record that I don't know about? And you look up the discogs, it's like they made one remix that was like nobody noticed, or whatever. And I feel like the music is not as important as it used to be. Mm-hmm. It's still, don't get me wrong, it still is, but it's not the top
focus.
No,
yeah,
it's not.
I'll agree with that.
Yeah.
Oh, it's impressive how it changed since Corona.
Yeah, that was like the boost, crazy boost.
You don't have TikTok?
I do not.
Never start?
No, I don't want to. I'm totally avoiding it. I've been doing fine without it. I mean, I'm not killing it like I used to be, but it's fine. I'm busy enough, and I'm content with my schedule and how I run my social media. Except I would love to not have any. Like, I just want to delete off my phone and just be able to like post stuff every once in a while. But you can't do that. You gotta promote the gigs. You gotta promote the records, and I have the label, and there's releases every month. I got one coming out tomorrow that I got to promote on Instagram, you know?
Every day, yes.
So yeah, I just got to push it.
But you got promotion lists on email.
Yeah, I got that for like DJs and stuff like that.
Since years.
Yeah, but that doesn't get the word out. You know what I mean? That puts it in the DJ's hands. They play it, but if they're not charting it or anything like that, people are not going to really.
What does that want, the whole charting thing?
I mean, it depends. If you're Chris Liebing and you chart a Truncate record on Beatport, then lots of people are going to see that, because when Chris Liebing puts a chart, Beatport will always put it on the front page, and everyone loves looking at charts. Like, I think a lot of the younger generation shop based on charts and like top selling music. I don't think they're much diggers, to be honest. I don't think they dig too much. So that's important for visibility and to get people to buy your music. But if you're an average Joe putting out a chart and it's buried in like 30 pages of DJ charts, who's going to see it?
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Sure.
So charts can be important, but also very difficult unless you got friends in the right places that says, hey, can you have so-and-so put this on their chart on Beatport? Because I know it's going to be front page. And I've had stuff charted from like Carl Cox, and immediately my tracks are like in the top 10 in Beatport because people see those charts and they just buy it. If Carl Cox is playing, it's got to be good. You know what I mean?
But when these things happen, that means that all the DJs are playing the same music.
Yes.
The chart DJs.
Yeah, 100%.
So that's the point of digging.
That's why I love digging. Yeah, go on Bandcamp, go buy records. Records is probably the best way because you go through old stuff that's not available digitally, and you can find a bunch of stuff that nobody has, and you got a little special little set. You know what I mean? And people ask you for the record, and depending of how you are, you can say, I don't know, keep it for yourself. I've done that before. Sorry, I know I'm a gatekeeper.
No, but
I've done that. There's records, man. There's records that took me 20 years to find, and I didn't tell anybody. I was like, nope, I'm not telling you. This is like white label where I put unknown. I was like, I keep it for myself for a little while. Then after, once I play it out a lot, I'm like, cool.
Okay, yeah,
everyone else can use it now.
I mean, that's fair. That's fair. It's fair game. That's cool. No, because like at the end, like why, like this whole gatekeeping thing. I mean, I get it, but on the other side, it's like, why should everyone give everything? Like especially in your case, which is like it's your job. Don't get paid for the time you dig.
Yeah. But the point is that you're supposed to, this artist made this record that you love so much.
Yeah.
You should give them
of course
the light of day. It's like, let people know who it is. But I'm also like, I don't want everyone playing this record. Let me play it.
Yeah.
You know, it's the same with like, I get music that I make and I don't release it for a long time. I have it for like a year and I'm playing it out and tons of people are like, what is this record? I'm like, oh, it's a new one. That's all I say. I try not to say who made it. I say it's a secret track.
So my theory is like, it's just a lie and it's all your own unreleased track.
A lot of times, honestly, yeah, it's a lot of unreleased stuff, man. I just say it's some unreleased stuff. That's all I say. And like, oh, can I have it? I'm like, no,
of course not.
Nope, sorry. It'll be out at some point. Yeah, it's coming. But yeah, you know, like you said, you don't want everyone playing the same records. But yeah, of course, you want the artist to get recognition. Yeah, all about that for sure. But sometimes you got that gem that just destroys the party and you don't hear really anybody else playing it. I want to be the guy that has that track. Yeah.
In that case, do you contact the person that produced the track?
If I can. Sometimes it's a record from like 1993 that I have no idea who made it, or the guy doesn't have social media. Like, how do you get in contact with them, you know?
You write a letter.
Yeah, facts. But there's been times where I found I found an old vinyl copy of something from like DJ Shuffle Master from Tokyo.
Oh, yeah.
And I got the vinyl rip. I'm like, the rip doesn't sound good. So I hit him up on Instagram. I was like, hey, do you happen to have a digital copy? Oh yeah, I got a digital copy. And he sends me the WAV file. And I'm like, amazing.
That's so cool.
Yeah.
No, that's a good thing about social media nowadays. Like how easy it is to contact people and like to immediately get in touch, and like how the scene reconnects after Corona.
Yeah.
I think like this thing's massively changed since 2020, 22.
Huge change. But also I feel people they feel entitled to be able to contact any artist. You know what I mean? Like they'll just like hit you up and ask you random questions and just like, all right, then I'm the asshole that because I didn't answer. You know what I mean? It's just like, I can't answer everyone. I can't just be like, hey, what compressor did you use on this track? And it's like, everyone asks me the same thing. And I just don't want to be having the constant, I don't want to be on social media all the time.
Sure.
So that like to respond to people. And the other problem is too, is when you respond to someone, it opens up the floodgates. So then they think they have a direct contact with me.
Yeah. And
they start messaging me all this stuff. And if I don't reply or I look at it and I'm like, oh great, now they're going to be like, oh, why aren't you responding to me? And it's like, man.
But this is, for example, a big difference between your generation and mine is like that we try to do like to answer to everyone because we're still building
Yeah.
our community.
100%.
So we are where we were 10, 15 years ago.
Yeah. That's that. I totally get it too. I totally get it. But I just can't be constantly responding to everybody on Instagram or Facebook. I get those too. People ask me for guest lists for Berghain all the time.
What's your best?
And I don't respond. I don't reply or respond or nothing. I leave it on because it's like message requests. So I'll see it, and they won't know I read it. So sorry.
Have you seen a few weeks ago Kyle Gaga posted the best questions, and then he answered with ChatGPT.
Oh, dude,
It was perfect.
yeah.
It was perfect.
No, I screenshot the
best.
I screenshot all the requests.
Yeah.
Because I wanna make a post one day. I'm gonna cut the people's faces out, obviously, but just of all the guest list requests. But the funniest thing is these people are like, we're such big fans of you, and I click on their profile, they're not even following me. Yeah. Or one of them is like just started following me like an hour ago, and they're like, I've been wanting to see you, and I was like, come on, man, like, do better than that. I mean, there was this one time in Italy where they shot somebody in the club, and the party ended.
Well, you played
pretty well. I was DJing
during your DJ set.
Mm-hmm. I was doing the closing.
The music must have been pretty bad then.
Well, here's the funny thing. So it happened right when the drop happened. So the track came back in, and then I heard pop, pop, and I thought it was the speakers blowing. And we're like, shit! I thought I was like, blah, blah. And then I see people just like duck down and then just run out of the room, and I was like, what the fuck happened? And then I turn around and my friends were like friends were like, get down. And I was like, what the fuck? And I get down. And then the place cleared out so fast and like quiet. And then the promoter goes like, some guy shot in the club. He was like angry with the security.
Whoa.
No one got hit. But yeah, that's what happened. I was like, what the hell? I was like, I thought it was like the speakers blowing because it was a loud pop and this music was so loud. And yeah, me and my friends were looking at each other like, damn, that was crazy. What the hell? But yeah, some guy was apparently arguing with security. Who knows about what? I don't remember. And yeah, he flipped out and just started shooting in the entrance.
Who the fuck takes a gun when he or she...
This was like in, what city was it? It was like the south of Italy. So like very mafia heavy city. I can't remember I think it was Taranto, Italy.
I don't know the south of Italy very well.
Small town, like not a big city. But yeah, it was pretty wild. Yeah. That's not the first time I've had guns pulled out at parties. I've seen one that, remember I was telling you at lunch about the warehouse party that they broke into.
Yes.
And the police came.
Yeah.
It was because of gangsters. There were like another rival gang they were going after them. I remember I wasn't DJing, but I was like next to the DJ booth, and I see this guy like with, big cholo gangster pants.
Yeah.
He was running like this after some guy. And I was like, oh, great, this doesn't look good. And then they see him coming back the other way, and he had a shotgun in his hand. And he was running after the guy, and I was like, what's going to happen? And then literally my friend that was doing the sound system, he had a gun. He pulled out a gun from the drawer, and he's like, get down. He had the gun in his hand. I was like, oh, man, am I going to die at a warehouse party? This guy's going to get into a shootout. And yeah, needless to say, the police came right after. That's when they... impounded all the sound system and my records, and I didn't get to have any records for like 30 days. And those like all the records I've ever had. This was like 97, so like I didn't have that much. Back then,
in the days.
Back then, I saved my lunch money from high school to buy records. Like I would get lunch money and not eat at school, and at the end of the week, I would buy like one record because that's all I could afford. I'd go to the store with a big stack, listen to everything, make sure there was one I really wanted, and I'd go home with one record. So like this was like, I don't know, a case of like 40 records that I've saved up. That was like my life savings of records at the moment. So like when I didn't have any, it was like, what do I do? I was at home just like turntables with no records.
You still got those records?
Yeah.
Nice.
It was just like there's this label called Underground Construction from Chicago, and it's called Funky J's. Funky J's, I think. This is like Chicago, ghetto Chicago stuff. But that was the first one that I got. And yeah, I had to like go to my friend's house to play records. Hey, what are you doing, man? I want to spin some records. Let me use your stuff. Yeah, that's how I did it. Good old days.
Do you miss them?
I do, man. It was fun. You know, there was no pressure. It was just, you go hang out with friends and play records and didn't have to worry about social media and promoting yourself. And back then, you know, in LA, the scene was like very house party, backyard party heavy in LA, because there was not that many clubs, especially for our age. We were teenagers, like 15 years old. And every weekend there'd be house parties, backyard parties, and you could like show up with your records and talk to the promoter, be like, hey, can I play? And they let you play for like 15 minutes. But you had to be really good. Otherwise you get kicked off the decks, and there'll be like a queue of
One of the DJs.
those DJs waiting to DJ, and you had to bring your best shit. And remember, we were talking about like gatekeeping.
Yeah.
This was the best part, is because you don't want to play the same shit everybody else is playing. So people will put white labels on their records, so nobody can see what it is. So if you have that one special record no one has, they're gonna be like, they're gonna look at the turntable, and you're not gonna see anything. It's just a white label. You know, you put your own little, you can write on it like, so you know what it is. Yeah, it was a lot of fun. Can't do that now. People call you a gatekeeper.
Do you think it's a bad thing?
I don't know. I mean, it is there, like there's good and bad, because yeah, the artist needs to be recognized because they made such a good record. But like, if you spend so much time digging for it, and it's like that's your like secret weapon of the night, like, why should everybody have it? Like, let me bang it out for a while, and let me let me get some use out of it.
With so much music being released every day nowadays, is it really?
Yeah, exactly. And you know, you can find your own version, and or find your own record and make that your kind of hit piece of the night, you know? Because like, when I make remixes or I make tracks, I don't give them to anybody for a long time, and I play them out every time, and there's always someone, what is that closing track that you played? And I'm like, oh, it's a new one of mine. That's all I say. I don't say anything else. And then eventually they'll come out, and then everybody else would have it.
It's a good compromise.
Yeah, it's fine. But yeah, of course, I'm all for sharing the music. It's not like I'm like keeping it safe forever, but there's records, man, I've dug for like 20 years, and I find it and I say, nope, this is like a really hard one to get.
That moment must be incredible.
So amazing, so amazing. There's one recently, well, not recently, like 5 years ago. It's this old Armand Van Helden record of Ace of Base.
Okay.
And I've been looking for that record. I remember hearing it in like 1995 on mixtapes. And back then, the mixtapes, there was no track listings. And I would hear it all through my teenage years. Never knew what it was. No one knew who it was. And then 5 years ago, I heard it on this old producer from Chicago called DJ Bam Bam. Not Bam Bam from the one everyone knows, like, Where's Your Child, Bam Bam? There's a guy, DJ Bam Bam. He played on some mix I heard on like SoundCloud. And I was like, what the hell is it? And I put a comment on YouTube. And I was like, can someone please tell me the name of it? And some guy responded with what it was. And I was like, no way. I looked on
the internet.
I looked on Discogs. I bought the record. And I was like, I can't believe I have this record 20 something years later, 24 years.
You could remember.
Yeah. I remember the first time I heard it was a tape from this guy. It was a local guy, Tony B from Los Angeles. And he let the whole track play. And I was like, this track is this shit. It's just Chicago stuff. Like, nothing. It's super simple, but it's so fucking, like, it just stuck with me all the time. And when I finally found it, man, I was like, oh my God, I finally have this record. It's insane. So like, it's not on, you can't find it on Bandcamp, or there's no digital versions. It's like only on vinyl. And like, I played it in some mixes, and like, I didn't put what it was. I was like, nope, it took me 25 years to find this record. It's mine for now. But if someone asks me personally, I'll tell them. But yeah.
But I will let you share the music by playing it every time you do.
Yeah. And it's a record that probably no one will really play anyway. It's like 1994, 126 BPM beating like Chicago. Like, techno kids won't play it. It won't fit you know. But me, I like throwing the Chicago stuff in my set, so it works. But if someone asks me, I'll tell you. But for now, so that's all you know. But I just said Ace of Base or Mama Helen. Anyone can search Discogs for that now. It'll come up. It's the only one he ever did for them. But yeah, I love that record.
Maybe you bought already to all the vinyls that were in Discog.
I actually bought two copies. I bought a white label version.
Yeah.
And then the official release. Yeah.
Smart.
But no, I've already ripped it and made edits. I made an edit of it to like extend some parts of it and made it a little bit faster so it's easier to play.
Yeah.
Beefed up the kick a little bit. Oh yeah. I do
Modern cuisine.
Yeah. Oh, I love doing that stuff. Edits are like so fun to do, man. Because then you have a version that nobody else has. What is this? It's mine.
Yeah, that's always something I've asked myself is like, if you really, really like one track, but there's this one element that you would change, then you do it.
Oh yeah, all the time. Or take one part out. It's like, I hate this little vocal. I can just cut this whole section out and just have like just the beat down version, the track version, you know? And I think now with AI, you could probably get any part you want taken out at some point, I think.
It's going to get there, definitely.
For sure. I've done it. I'm not going to say which record it was, but I made an edit of this old Dance Mania record, and I ran it through this AI thing, and it took the vocal out, and I just got the vocal, and I made my own version with the vocal. And I was like, this is insane, dude. So AI is going to take over.
You think techno is mostly going to be, definitely going to be one of the first genres to get replaced somehow by AI? But what do you think about this whole AI taking over artistry in general?
I think, I wouldn't say replaced, but it's going to be the most easily thing to exploit. You know what I mean? Everyone's going to want to become famous. Everyone wants to get gigs and they want to release records. And what's the quickest way to do something like that? You can just write a prompt in AI and make a track that sounds like Jeff Mills and then just do your own spin on it. And you already have a whole song where the ideas are there.
Is it fair?
It shouldn't be, but it's the way of the world now. There's no way we can avoid it. Nothing's going to stop it. It's coming and it's going full blast right now. You've seen the AI videos nowadays. Jesus.
Especially with politics right now, it's
you don't know what's going to be real or not, and it's only going to get better. That's it. Within a few years. Well, how long has AI been released to the public? Just
1.5 years.
1.5 years, and look how much it's grown already.
November 22, it really started.
Yeah. And so all of a sudden, people just keep feeding it information and data. It's just going to keep getting better, more intuitive, and it's going to perfect everything. But yeah, it's still going to be losing a human element to it for sure. But how long before it learns to be a human element too, to give a track swing or something like that?
I've heard a podcast. I don't remember exactly. It was probably Diary of a CEO from Stephen Bartlett. I can highly recommend that. They were talking about AI. And they were saying that AI cannot have any consciousness, even if it shows it has one.
Yeah.
So it will never replace human in any way.
No, I don't think it'll replace humans, but it's probably gonna get pretty damn close.
But that's pretty fucked up because in that podcast, they were also talking about art and also relationship, and especially this whole love thing, dating, etc. You can nowadays, with everything that's online, you can create your perfect relationship.
Yeah.
And skipping all the bad part that you find in a person and replacing it with an AI.
Like with the Black Mirror episode, where the girl creates the perfect guy, and then eventually she hates him because all he is perfect. He's like, anything you want, I'll do anything you want. He's like, I want to get into an argument. It's like, well, what for? I have no emotion to fight. And it's like, yeah, you're going to eventually miss that human emotion. But that's scary, man. I don't know. We're in a super weird time, dude. That's all I know. Bizarre. And there's even already Instagram models that have millions of followers that are all just AI models.
This started a few years
Influencers.
ago already.
I just found out about this recently.
Yeah.
So how long before there's a Instagram influencer DJ that just posts videos of them DJing, and then eventually they can want to get booked and they're going to have to find someone that looks like them? I don't know. Like,
This could be a thing, like in a kind of metaverse, would be like to have a digital party where you have to pay so with bitcoins to enter with your avatar and like to party on.
exactly. Yeah. So I don't know, man. It's such a new thing that it's super bizarre to us. But in like 10 or 15 years, it's going to be a part of life.
Yeah,
And you'd be like, oh, that's the AI version of this person. And it's like, oh yeah, like what the hell? It's stuff you only see in the movies. And you're like, this is weird.
people won't even leave their place. Like they're gonna live digitally outside of
Like
with
that.
a VR
Yeah, exactly.
lens.
They'd rather be in the virtual world than in the real world.
But this is already happening with video games.
Mm-hmm.
And this is fucked up because like this literally fucks up a lot of brains of especially young men.
Mm-hmm.
There's also big studies about that. Also, like a lot of men under 45 are committing suicide due to like it's the number one cause of death.
Really?
Men because of solitude and like the fact that they're not feeling well into the actual society.
Right. They're more
super
comfortable in the virtual world rather than being
because they can create whatever they want with League of Legends, World of Warcraft, or like they can become a superhero and like not go and work out, having social contact, create their perfect partners, having all the different, let's say, kinks, whatever they want to do. If they want to fucking dragon, they can fucking dragon when they need to.
Man, that is just wow. It just blows my mind how we're advancing as a civilization right now. It's super bizarre, man. Super bizarre. Where does that leave us? I don't know.
In Hanoi, blowing balloons.
Yeah, like just falling down and breaking my leg. What happened to those days? Pre-pandemic, man.
David, thank you so much for today.
Oh man, no problem. Thanks for having me. That was fun.